Hey there, my name is James Lee and welcome to 5149, my channel where I share my thoughts about business, politics. So if you end up enjoying this video, I would love it if you took a quick second of your time to like the video, to share it, and to subscribe if you haven't already done so. That would mean a lot. Okay, today I want to talk about Disney, one of the most beloved and iconic brands in the world. So when I think of Disney, I think about the movies I watched growing up or the trips to Disneyland with my friends and family. But it's also important to realize that people are behind every Disney movie and every Disney theme park experience, and that's what I want to focus on today. Just a bit of background, the Walt Disney Company was founded almost a century ago by Walt Disney in October of 1923, and has since created a vast, diversified portfolio of characters, theme parks, and other IP that has captured the imagination of both children and adults all around the world. They've really mastered the craft of creating and building long-lasting relationships with their customers and fans. There's even studies to show that people who love Disney live longer and that Disney-loving couples have better relationships. I mean, there's a reason why Disneyland is known as the happiest place on earth. Come on, just look at that face. But what happens when they do bad things to people? Because Disney kind of has this cult-like following, any wrongdoings committed by the company is much harder to prosecute in the court of public opinion. For example, it's much easier to go after and vilify a company like Wells Fargo when they do bad things because nobody really likes banks. There are no fuzzy characters for them to hide behind, no fun family vacation memories. So here's a list of what Disney has been able to get away with in recent years with zero impact on their business. In 2017, the Department of Labor's Wage and Hour Division found violations of minimum wage, overtime, and record-keeping provisions of the Fair Labor Standards Act, which resulted in Disney having to pay $3.8 million in back wages to nearly 16,400 Florida resort employees. In 2019, 10 women filed a major class action lawsuit alleging that divisions across Disney systematically mistreat women by giving them lower salaries than male colleagues doing equivalent work and by denying them promotions. Disney has also faced multiple racial discrimination lawsuits, including one in 2015 where a black employee claimed that white employees at Disney World subjected her to racial discrimination, harassment, and criticism of her high heels and updo hairstyle. Others have also alleged that the company systematically passed over non-white employees for promotion to management jobs and charged that the company used software that could select white employees' resumes based on naming conventions. And just this year, during the coronavirus pandemic, Disney announced that it would lay off more than 28,000 workers from its theme park division. But the key thing to note here is that this news comes only a month after an internal memo was released stating that company executives would return to their pre-pandemic salaries. Not a great look. So the reason why I just gave all those examples is because we as consumers and fans have to remember that behind a brand like Disney is a large multinational corporation. And corporations collectively, almost without fail, are going to try and squeeze every dollar possible out of their customers, squeeze every working hour from their employees, and pay them the bare minimum that they can get away with, while distributing as much cash as possible to their shareholders and executives. On one side, you have exorbitant executive and shareholder wealth, and on the other, extreme poverty of employees and workers, all neatly kind of bundled together by this idea of magic and happiness. Remember when I talked about how Disney has created a vast ecosystem that brings us together with our friends and family? Well, we also have to remember that behind each and every one of those experiences is a human being, many human beings. And as we just witnessed, there is a cost to be paid, a tremendous cost to be paid to bring us the happiness we enjoy. The point I'm trying to make is that it's unhealthy to idolize brands like Disney because when we idolize something or someone, it creates this insular cult-like environment that blinds us to many of the ugly truths that might exist. Instead, if you're a fan of Disney, be a friend of them because, well, good friends, we hold each other accountable and call each other out on our BS. I know this is a bit of a weird analogy that I'm making, be friends with a corporation. That's kind of like the total opposite of what I usually say. But hear me out. Like if I saw a good friend breaking the law or taking advantage of other people, I would say something and do something. Disney is a company that's out there to bring joy to many people's lives. But just because they're doing that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be held accountable for their toxic labor practices and their unethical business behavior. And I think one of the most powerful ways to do that is to be called out by their own fan base because that hits them where it hurts, with ticket sales and at the box office. And it's also the reason why we see Congress get involved or have investigations or pass things like fair labor laws or anti-discrimination laws. It's because enough people stood up and said something. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the discussion, and I appreciate you for giving me a chance to bash Disney while disguising it as a why you should be their friend video. Let me know what your thoughts are. Also be sure to like and subscribe, but more importantly, share it with your friends and family so we can grow our community together. My name is James Lee. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you next week.